That's what one of our Labour political figures was doing. Let's turn to another, because you've also caught up, haven't you, with Rosie Duffield, MP for Canterbury. So she was at conference this time, right?
Yeah, exactly right. And I started by asking Rosie Duffield why she returned to conference and how she felt about being back. Did she feel safe?
I'm usually at conference. I stayed away 1 year, and it feels a completely different place these days, I have to be honest. So,
In terms of energies and vibes, does it feel like an expectancy's in the air now that you could become a party that's no longer in opposition but actual government?
yeah, I mean, I have to be wary of getting too excited because we do tend to feel like this every pre-election year, to be honest. And, you know, we're all desperate for a Labour government and we're all very hopeful, and everyone here works very hard for that. So I guess, you know, we're just desperately clinging on and hoping, but the polls are on our side this time, and you know, we were just talking about business, and business look like they are taking us seriously, so all the signs are there. Don't want to get too complacent.
When it comes to what you look for in the party going forward, and therefore what people in Kent can look sort of forward to, what do you think the party does to understand voters in Kent?
That's a tricky one. I mean, being the only MP in this party in Kent, that's quite hard. I mean, the party have never visited me in Kent or shown an especially strong interest or understanding of Kent. And I mean, I was with some people last night who were saying, but you're really a sort of outlier of Brussels more than sort of you are anything to do with Stoke or Birmingham or whatever, and that is very true. We're a European city, European university. We have such strong links with the continent that I think over issues like Brexit and immigration, we are not necessarily aligned with the rest of the party and even the rest of the country necessarily. So we have very specific needs. Obviously Brexit is a huge issue for us, importing and exporting everything, Brock. I mean, you know it all, you guys cover it all the time.
What do you need to hear from the Westminster front benches, the shadows? What do you need to hear from them to sort of go, do you know what, they finally understand Canterbury?
I think maybe an understanding of how immigration is seen in our area. We desperately need migrant workers, for example, and often the small boats issue gets muddled up with needing migrant workers. We're desperate for help on farms. We need the Home Office to carry on sort of getting those visas through because, like I predicted in my maiden speech in 2017, fruit has been rotting on the trees. So we absolutely need migrant workers to prop up our economy. We're a tourism economy, so Brexit is still having a daily impact on our area. Numbers of students coming to study and live in Canterbury. So it'd be nice to understand that we do need a closer working relationship with Europe, and I'd like to see what that looks and sounds like.
Last week at the Conservative conference, Rishi Sunak made very clear his idea of what constitutes a man and a woman. At this conference, the toilets are unisex. Does your party understand the difference, do you think?
It's the first time I've been in this particular venue and seen that. That was a bit odd, and I cannot tell you how many people have messaged me about the loos, and in disgust mostly. Absolutely dozens of women have sent me photos of the loos or tagged me in things. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of disappointing. It's not really what most people want, and I think most people understand what a man and a woman is, and that doesn't mean we have to be unkind to trans people, but there just is a very clear definition, and it's not difficult. But my party has been quite shy of sort of spelling that out, hasn't it?
Do you think they've made a mistake by putting unisex toilets into conference? Do you think it sends out the wrong message for the party?
I think it's probably the venue that do that. I don't actually know. I'm sure I'll find out. But yeah, I think I understand that we've got single-sex toilets as well, and also these mixed-sex ones. I mean, I'm not going near those with a barge pole, frankly. But you know, I'll seek out a single-sex space for women if I need one. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of an odd decision. I don't know.
When it comes to Keir Starmer tomorrow, he's going to deliver his big pitch. What do you want to hear from him, and do you have confidence he could be the next Prime Minister?
I'd like to hear some stuff about house building and planning. Rachel Reeves touched on planning today. It is a massive issue, but particularly in the Garden of England. You know, we absolutely need homes, but we need to protect our green spaces, and that is so important to my constituents, most of whom are really invested in clean air, the environment, everything to do with climate change, but also we know that we've got a 3,000 odd housing waiting list, and people have been sent out of East Kent for absolutely years now. So that's a big issue for us. Again, in closer relationship with Europe, and yeah, it'd be nice to know that Rachel touched on gender parity and pay and the pay gap. I mean, that's the kind of thing I'll be looking for.
When it comes to future MPs, you mentioned earlier you're the only one in Kent.
Yeah.
Do you think come the next election that will still be the same picture?
I'd really like to think not, but we'll see. I don't want to get too excited. It's a big climb. You know, those other MPs in Kent have got very healthy majorities, and I'm sort of used to being on my own and working with them. But it would be nice. It'd be very different to have some friends around. Yes.
Rosie Duffield, enjoy conference.
Thank you.
There you go then, Kent's only Labour MP, talking to our political reporter Michael Keown yesterday. Michael is still with us.